Hey guys, it's September 14th, Wednesday. Have to apologize, I haven't shot an update in quite some time. I just got lazy. There's really no excuse. Just really got lazy. We'll go over, I called them spares, but they're really just extras I had. Late starts, I didn't really know if I'd get much out of them, but as you can see, they have produced and produced well. I've harvested probably 4 or 5 off of this guy. You can see it's got some pretty good looking peppers. That's really the phenotype I'm going for there. Obviously there's varied styles and shapes, but it's came along. I really didn't think I'd get anything out of this plant, and it's done quite well. And if you want to know the difference, a lot of newer guys often ask the question, what size pot does it make a difference? These plants are virtually started at the same time, treated the same, fertilized the same, watered the same. Well, watered is a little different. That's a little misleading because the 5-gallon pot, you can see the one on the right is a 5-gallon pot. One on the left is about a 10 or 12-gallon pot. But the smaller pots you have to water more often. They dry out quicker. So it's probably received more water. But that's the difference. See if I can get them both in a shot. You can see how much more growth you get out of a bigger pot. How much more production. And I know genetics can play a part in it, but really they just need room to grow. You can see it's a reaper's well. They're both reapers. A lot more comes out of the larger pots. This was supposed to be a Borg 9. I really don't believe it's a Borg 9. Doesn't look like any Borg 9s I've seen online. It's a good producer, good looking plant. I just don't have a clue what it is. Bell pepper, I've got 3 or 4 bell peppers off of it. Cayenne. This turned out to be just a red boot. It was supposed to be a stinging boot, supposed to have a tail like a scorpion, but didn't really happen that way. And you can see, loaded with peppers. I always have a lot of success with the Butulocias or ghost pepper. Peppers everywhere. It's really a shame. Honestly, next year I probably won't grow maybe 4 or 5 plants. I just haven't used them like I should. I've wasted more peppers than I'd like to admit. I've been busy doing other things, and I really haven't spent the time drying and making jelly and pickles and stuff like I normally do. This was supposed to be a stinging boot as well. It came from the same seeds, but it turned out to be a yellow pepper. I don't know unless it's a yellow Butulocea, which it really don't have the phenotype. You can see a lot of these are just going bad on the vine. I just hadn't harvested like I should. But it's a healthy plant. It's probably about 5 feet tall and 5 feet wide. Beside it, this guy's kind of leaned over. It's about the same size, but it doesn't quite look like it because it's leaned over. Maybe you can see from this angle. This is another ghost pepper. A red ghost, and it's loaded. Lots of peppers on it. It's just recently fell forward. It wasn't like that the other day. 7-pot bubble gum. I harvested this guy and it really hadn't produced very much since then. We got probably a month of temperatures near 100 degrees with hardly any rain, and that shut a lot of stuff down. A lot of these peppers are smaller than they normally get, and I contribute that to the heat. Devil's brain, billy goat. You can see all these peppers are 3-4 feet, and then the ones on the end are about 5 feet. They're in the larger pots, and again, that tells you about pot size. You can see these that are about 3 feet or so are in maybe 15-gallon pots, and these that are about 5 feet are in probably 30-gallon pots, maybe 25, something like that. I'm not positive the size. They're about twice the size of the 15-gallon ones, maybe not quite, so I'd say about 20-25-gallon pots. This is a chocolate habanero. It's about 3 feet tall, full of peppers. I'm not wasting a lot of time showing you all the peppers. You can see there's peppers everywhere. This guy is just perplexing to me. I don't have a clue. This is supposed to be a Bourgogne. Came out of the same seeds as the red one I just showed you, the smooth red one. If you look, I've talked about this before if you followed my videos, you can see the size of the calyx. I mean, they're huge. They're bigger than the calyx on my 7-pot bubblegum. Here's the kicker. It's like almost an orange color. I haven't tasted one yet because I really didn't know if they were ripe or not. I've never seen pods that color. It's not quite orange, but I don't know. I mean, maybe I'll cut one up and see. You can check this one out. I mean, I come back from vacation and, sorry, I'm trying to focus here. These were here when I was on vacation. They didn't get watered and they're shriveled and they don't look very appetizing. Let me see if I can get the camera to focus. So I've tossed most of these. Well, I guess you'll have to take my word for it. But you can see where it's starting to bleed, the yellow is starting to bleed up on the calyx. I don't know. I don't have a clue what it is. It's supposed to be a Bourgogne, came out of the same seed pack. I can't remember where I ordered them from, but it was a reputable dealer. I only order from reputable dealers. Or try to anyway. This wasn't a donation. It wasn't sent via a friend. This came from a dealer. I do remember that. I don't have a clue what it is. One's red, one's like an orange, one it's smooth with a regular calyx, one's has huge calyx that's bleeding yellow on top of it. So I don't know, you got me. Anybody has any ideas, hit me up, let me know. This is the spare plants that I just threw in the garden just to see what they would do. No peppers yet, but you can see, even with these tomatoes, which tomatoes are about dead now, even with them blocking most of the sun, they've still grown quite well. I won't get anything off of these. It's already mid-September, so it's just fun to see how they'd grow. And honestly, I'm strongly considering putting plants in the ground. I've been a big proponent of growing plants in pots, but the way that these things have grown this year in the ground, and you'll see in a minute. Let's get over here to this chocolate habanero. Look at this guy. This is the first time I've put a plant hotter than, say, a jalapeno in the ground. It's a monster. It's over 4 feet tall. It's probably 3-4 feet around. And you can probably see it's loaded with pods. Pods everywhere. So, you know, maybe I was mistaken. Anytime I've been asked, I've said, put them in pots, put them in pots. Well, now I'm kind of doubting that. Next year, I'm going to scale back. I might do 2 or 3 in pots and do 1 or 2 in the ground. But if you look at this one, this chocolate habanero, and look at the stalk. I mean, that'll tell you if nothing else. Look at the size of the stalk. Or the trunk, or whatever you guys want to call it. It's huge. This was behind the chocolate habanero in the pot. It got really sunburned. If you follow my videos, you know. Now it's at least twice the size of this chocolate hab that I had in a pot. You can see, look how big this guy is. Well, twice might be a bit carried away, but it's definitely broader, it's wider. And it has just as many peppers, and it was behind. I'd say it's at least probably 3 weeks behind because it got so sunburnt. So anyway, there you go. But really, guys, help me out on this pepper. I don't have a clue. Is it anything special? Is it something you guys recognize? The calyx and the fact that it's bleeding is pretty interesting to me. But I'd like to know what it is. If anybody's seen this before or grown it or has a theory, just post and let me know what you think. But there you go. And again, I apologize. I should have kept up better. But the season, I probably have another month here. You can see we've finally got some plants in the area of what I might call monsters. These are pretty big plants. So there you go. Questions, comments, concern, criticism, anything you got, hit me with it. See you next time.